Every relationship begins with a rush of effortless chemistry, but eventually that initial explosive energy burns out, leaving many couples wondering where the magic went. We have to look at why two people who start out completely inseparable can eventually end up feeling like strangers who just happen to share a mortgage. Relationship experts and counselors suggest that long-term connection relies on specific psychological habits rather than the preservation of that initial spark. A lasting connection is built upon 5 distinct psychological pillars that act as the structural foundation for a life together. An enduring bond is a deliberate psychological practice that must be actively maintained every day. Consider Rahul and Neha. When they first moved in together, Rahul making Neha her morning tea felt like a romantic gesture. 5 years later, she barely registers it. When an act of service is repeated daily, the brain adapts. These small gestures stop being seen as gifts and start being expected as a baseline requirement. Reversing this decline involves a conscious shift toward noticing and vocalizing gratitude for the smallest daily efforts. The simple act of saying thank you prevents the relationship from sliding into a cold, transactional arrangement, restoring a sense of mutual value. Even when couples spend hours together, they can remain emotionally distant. Amit and Priya spend every evening in the same room, but they are isolated, each locked into a different digital world on their smartphones. This diagram shows the gap between physical proximity and emotional presence. 2 circles are close, but attention vectors point away. Real connection occurs when vectors turn inward. To maintain this, psychologists recommend a daily 15-minute digital blackout. No phones or television, just unfiltered conversation. In a world of constant distraction, undivided attention functions as the actual currency of connection. Resentment often grows when a couple communicates on different frequencies. Rohan expresses his affection through gifts, but Shruti feels neglected because she only desires quality time. This chart shows how mismatched love languages create a disconnect. A transmitter sends block-shaped signals, but the receiver only accepts circles. The signal fails. When a partner adjusts their signal to match the receiver, the communication finally lands, and the partner feels valued. Expressing love in a language your partner doesn't speak ensures that your effort results in 0 impact. Beyond communication, the way a couple handles friction determines their longevity. Vikram and Anjali often find themselves trapped in an ego-driven cycle, where the goal of every argument is to prove who is right. De-escalating these fights requires a total reframing of the conflict. The dynamic must shift from an adversarial, me versus you, to a collaborative, us versus the problem. This shift relies on 2 rules: keeping ego out of the conversation and refusing to weaponize past mistakes to win a point. The resilience of a bond shows itself in a couple's ability to navigate a conflict without damaging their foundational respect. Finally, lasting love requires autonomy. Karan and Megha have a thriving marriage because they spend significant time apart, pursuing separate hobbies and friendships. Popular culture suggests that true lovers should be inseparable, but constant closeness can be suffocating. Intentional distance creates the room required for individual growth. This growth generates mutual respect and gives both partners the opportunity to actually miss one another. Personal space provides the vital oxygen a fire needs to keep burning brightly. A lifelong bond cannot survive on the momentum of its initial spark. It grows like these 2 separate root systems beneath the soil, slowly reaching out to intertwine and eventually forming an unbreakable knot. Sustaining that connection requires the daily application of these 5 pillars. Take a moment to evaluate your own relationship. Choose one of these rules, whether it's a digital blackout or vocalized appreciation, and implement it starting today. True durability belongs to the couples who deliberately choose to rebuild their connection every single day.
Thank you for watching Only Best for You. If you love this content, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow us on social media.